Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the arguably best Terran player in the world, our first finalist. In the red, it's Team Liquid's Clem. And opposite it, the top-ranked Protoss. You probably already know who it is, but I gotta justify my presence here with a dramatic introduction. The #1 Protoss in the world, the mysterious MaxPax. A best-of-5 Terran versus Protoss Grand Finals, which means another week has gone by. And, we're starting things off strong between these two, which gives me very limited time to beg you for likes and subscribes. And Jimmy, what are we? 1,321 likes on this video, on this cast, on this finals. And I'll cast another one. And it's probably going to be MaxPax versus Clem. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. Proxy Gate, a MaxPax build, building off the MaxPax build. No longer just proxying the first gate. For those uninitiated, MaxPax first came onto the scene, like many players, with a dramatic, exciting, and kind of cheesy build. The MaxPax build, where you just proxy a gate, and then, if they send units across, you just recall a Stalker. He's since fleshed out his repertoire to include pretty much every other part of playing Protoss. But you gotta have that in your back pocket, and an Adept to zone out the Reaper, while MaxPax... Oh no, wait, what? He lost an Adept to the Widowmine on the top of the ramp. So, the Proxy Gate... Oh, Clem is not taking any chances. He's suspicious. Especially here. He didn't see... Yeah, he didn't actually see the Proxy Gate yet. He's seen the expansion, but Medevac coming across, Widowmine inside, Cyclone chased it down, and here we go. Stalkers are behind the Cyclone, because of course they are. The Medevac is behind the Stalkers in this Scooby-Doo style battle here. Widowmine will burrow, but the Medevac is outmaneuvering and stays out of Widowmine range, kites with some of the Stalkers. The Medevac gets shot down, loses one Stalker. More Stalkers are gonna warp in. So, we're just getting started. Blink is on the way. The Cyclone gonna lock on, trying to maintain that high ground vision. Does so with the Marines. Trades a couple out. Warping in another Stalker. Everyone is precious. Should be a lock-on cooldown momentarily. He manually targets the hurt Stalker. Takes it down. MaxPax has enough Stalkers left over to potentially continue the attack, but now, obviously, Clem knows it's coming. So, what is the damage on both sides? 3 Stalkers and 2 Adepts. But the Medevac, the Cyclone, and the Marines getting taken down, as long as MaxPax keeps... What? The Widowmine just scampered across during all this. He's gonna sacrifice a probe. And I think losing the Medevac, as well as that Cyclone, really cuts Clem's momentum a lot more than losing 3 Stalkers does for MaxPax. He's just gonna keep warping in Stalkers, whereas Clem is not going to be getting another Medevac. He's not going to be getting another clone. He's right now sending a Liberator across as something to maybe get some damage done, while MaxPax is looking the other way. But Blink is nearly completed. But how is he going to get vision up to the high ground? There is the Adept, if it's able to shade all the way in, which is a bit of a desperation move, may be able to allow him to blink to the high ground, but the Liberator's just going to siege up. MaxPax's incredibly quick reaction actually gets away even with the probes and gas, which is remarkably hard to do in a reliable fashion. So, we're at an impasse. He sieges it up, just make sure that it doesn't get stuck in case maybe a little Selectal army usage, you know. Like oh no, you don't want to let it in. I'm sure Clem knows the threat here. He knows the Stalkers are waiting for their opportunity, but there's still some Stalkers anchored back at home by the Liberator, which means that MaxPax, it's a bluff at this point. Any sort of attack, the Adept Shade getting in, maybe he can blink up to the high ground, but it's probably not going to happen. Now, MaxPax has to decide, is he going for splash damage, or is he going for a huge swell of gateways? And so far, Gateway Man is gracing us with his presence. 5 more gates on the way, and then a Robo Bay, just to... make sure I'm not entirely correct there, but charge and +1. Meanwhile, Clem is opting for the very standard triple threat. Stim, combat, shield, +1 himself. He's got the fixins here so far. And the Raven, whoa, 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 whoa! Nevermore. The Stalkers able to take down the Raven, and that's... He just wanders out. I don't know if he was looking another direction. We don't have the minimap cams here. He also lost, I think he was microing the Liberator, and the Stalkers were in a perfect spot. So Clem still has a dangerous push, but not nearly as dangerous as if the Liberator was still at the back anchoring some of the Stalkers, and the Raven was part of the army. Still, that army supply not looking incredible for MaxPax. The Blink Stalkers, though, with shield battery overcharge, gonna help out. A couple Widow Mines will burrow, able to target the battery. A backup battery, not as strong, but it's better than nothing. Charge 8 seconds out. Warp Prism, not a part of this. He sent it across, trying to get some economic damage done. But he has to survive the first initial onslaught here, and Clem has put together a 2-base push against the 3-base MaxPax. And Charge Lots and Stalkers are not well known for trading with Medivacs, tanks, and Widow Mines. And, at least not well. And it looks like the siege tanks will survive. +1 weapons on the ground is completed, but another drop comes in. And the medevac may be taken down, but the Marines and Marauders will stand tall. And he's dodging shots from the Stalkers, and it looks like Clem has broken through and will break MaxPax down with a decisive victory. Okay, MaxPax. I'm doing the outro bit. Line it up for me. With a decisive victory in game number... Okay, well... I'm gonna slice up a few more. A couple more drops. MaxPax will have... You know, I'll give him some credit. He made sure that he exhausted every option. In fact, his opponent, Clem, has, in my opinion... Now, he's left games a little early before. Clem has a tendency to, in the middle of a fight... just leave the game. I mean, Clem probably knows better than anyone else whether that fight's gonna go his way or not. But it is a bit anticlimactic from my perspective. I'm trying to get people to like and subscribe. You want dramatic moments. And when you leave the game, right as the Zealots charge in, not as good. But this time around, he doesn't have to leave the game at all. MaxPax throws every unit he can at him, but Clem stands tall and knocks him down. So despite all the small losses, the big picture is still in the favor of the Frenchman. And we're going to game 2, Golden Ore. The workers battling it out. Don't know, hard to tell where it went wrong for MaxPax. It's just tough to deal with those timings. He did try, remember, he tried a proxy gate. And that delayed some of the economy. It also didn't really get any damage done. So even though Clem suffered a few losses, he focused everything on hitting this inflection point, this 2-base timing, where you either knock him out or, well, you hope you do enough damage. Okay, all right. Enough theoreticals. Proxy starport. Wow, that is a early start, but double gas. A depth shade. Not gonna see it. It'd be a little surprising if it did, but... What is he even gonna proxy? Hellions? I mean, like a Widow Mine? No. Medevac drop Hellions? It's definitely an odd choice. The Hellions will be spotted. Yeah? He's got the starport in such an odd spot. MaxPax not going to be looking for it. That's not where you proxy in order to do this. And therefore, it is where you should proxy in order to subvert expectations. The Hellions kiting the Adept. They have slightly more range, but don't want to take any extra damage before hopping in that medevac. And another reason to proxy is you have 4 Hellions out by the time a medevac finishes. The timing lines up that if you build this medevac out here, you can hit with the Hellions as quickly as possible, whereas you'd have to be waiting at home for everybody to be ready. Here, the Uber wasn't here yet. But now he just drops past the wall. MaxPax, 2 Adepts in position to defend. Juggles right back into the medevac. The Adepts, terrestrially bound, will have to deal with it. Incinerates another probe, gets a fourth one. He's microing the hurt Hellions out. Oh my god. Oh, Clem. Despite the fancy micro, only getting 7 probes, only maybe doing some heavy lifting there. Just like that medevac, but... 7 probes. MaxPax down to 31, but Clem did delay his second base. He's got his starport out of the map. So... it's heading home now, but... Clem... arguably 7 SCVs behind where he would be if he just expanded. I don't think it's done quite enough damage yet, but the threat of the medevac remains. Though it has to be very careful about staying too close as Blink is finishing off. I think MaxPax deflected that about as well as could be expected, especially considering that Clem, again, with just makes it look... he doesn't make it look easy, but he makes it look so smooth. Like, effectively no other player does with those medevacs. Even Beyond, I think, would be impressed by that sort of play. Beyond, a bit more ham-fisted with his medevacs. Clem is an artist. Okay. And his chosen canvas, death. That doesn't make it. So I was hoping it would be more profound than that, but that's what we ended up with. Couple cyclones, something to use that reactor, I think, to buffer for the blank stalkers. 2 cyclones, quite an investment, but cheaper than other options. And with 2 cyclones, unlikely to be blinking up to the high ground unless there's a decisive advantage. And right now there simply isn't. Only 5 stalkers, 2 adepts. The Hellions are back! They got repaired, so did the medevac. We're ready for round 2. He gets 2 probes, juggles 1. MaxPax able to deal with that. Bit of hubris there. Loses the Hellion. Still trying to get damage done, but 1 Hellion. Putting the probes into the sauna. Clem still microing at hundreds of APM, a single Hellion and a medevac, but it's not going to get too much more damage done, and MaxPax still comfortably ahead in the worker count. Observer is knocked down by a cyclone and a scan. Stim, combat shield +1, triple threat closing in. But this time around, MaxPax has a better economy. He's got his 3rd base already set up. He's actually a little later on the Robo Bay in favor of getting his gateways out quicker. And very simply, Clem is not hitting as hard, as fast. So, Clem... this shouldn't be a deadly time. MaxPax has much more ready than he did in the previous one. And in fact, Clem not even bothering with the full timing. He was spotted, I think, by an adept. He's actually looking to outflank the Blink Stalkers. Oh, what a clever move there. Knocks out another observer. Consolation prize. The Stalkers slip away immediately. And now the rest of the army is coming out behind. MaxPax knows this is likely to happen, but now with no vision, he can't confirm it for sure. +1 combat shield. Already completing concussive shells for the Marauders, and here comes Clem with another round. This time, MaxPax, instead of being down 20 supply, he's up by 10. The Bio Army, though. Widow Mines will burrow. Charge lots. He's trying to wait out the +1, maybe get in range of the shield batteries. Time is on MaxPax's side here. The longer this takes, the more units he's going to have, the better upgrades. And also, Clem keeps stimming, which means those medevacs will be running out of energy, not usually a huge factor. The Reaper Wall itself, a bit of a liability, as he's going to lose the Cyber Core, something he wants to replace. He has plenty of Stalkers for now, but the multi-tiered tank push begins. Here's the Colossus, +1 done. Charge lots on the low ground, snipes off one of the medevacs. And the Widow Mines will blunt the effect of some of the charge lots, but the Immortal Colossus combo, a buddy cop movie for the... oh, well. A revenge buddy cop movie. You killed my brother. Yes, he was short, but he was my brother. Anyways, Widow Mines, and Clem still finding damage done. 11, 12, and counting probes. The medevac's going to be targeted. But now Clem has cleared out so many probes. There's still 3 bases here, and Clem does not have a 3rd command center behind this. But just as it looked like MaxPax was going to clean things up, another drop comes in. And MaxPax drops in supply to about even. How many gates? 7 gates. He's still got the Colossi. He still has 3 Nexi, which means he can replace those probes quickly. But it's not free. It takes time and money. And time is money as well. Extended Thermal Lance is completed. He's got a Templar Archives about to complete, but there's not going to be that much gas. Storm, certainly quite a reach at this stage. If he gets to it, obviously amazing. Clem is floating his command center to his 3rd. So his production or his income will be halted, especially by a single angry zealot. Oh my god, citizens arrest! As the SCVs will... Okay, well, some of the Marines come down. But Clem drops the base. Leads with the hurt medevac with nothing in it. But there's not enough units here. He's going to have to bring the Colossi back to defend. But he's already losing a bunch of the Stalkers as he slips into the gateways. I'm not sure if this is working better for or against MaxPax. The Widow Mines will get a couple of the Zealots cleaned up afterwards. Meanwhile, Charge Lots rebuffed at the door. A bunker has enough at home to help defend. And now, Clem keeps the aggression up. As if he lets MaxPax sit back for more than like 1 warp-in, MaxPax can easily put together an attack that will crush him. So he needs to stay on the bleeding edge of these attacks. But each one is an existential risk. If he loses a medevac full of units, MaxPax is going to come across and slap him across the face. If he doesn't keep the pressure on, MaxPax will wait a minute, build up, slap him across the face. And if he does, if the oh, now this is worst case scenario. The medevacs are coming back home, but MaxPax is already here. He's got a hand out. +2 is about to complete, but he sees an opportunity. He realizes the medevacs aren't here. There's just simply not enough units. The supplies are kind of close to even, but most of Clem's army supply is just now swinging in. And again, an asterisk GG. He even put a disclaimer like, I don't know. I guess that's fair. But a perfect example, Clem, of give me 10 more seconds. All I need is 10 more seconds. Are we doing phrasing? That's all we're doing here, but just clearly MaxPax in an advantageous position. Clem taps it out, and MaxPax will put himself on the board. Well-executed defense deflects Clem's attempt at a cheeky Hellion drop, and now we're all tied up 1-1. As always, super action-packed games. Constant aggression. Just keeps burning right up until it ends. It just dramatically ends. Abruptly. Oh no, not again. Oh, no. What have you done? They change colors. Not as difficult as if it was a mirror matchup, but... And they're probably using player colors, as opposed to, whatever was set in the lobby. But, an engineering bay block. In order to try... Is he gonna... No. He's gonna pre-block the 3rd as well. This is considered in many cultures to be a dick move. But, he's French, so... I'll just leave that one out there. Also very French. Locks the probe in. Clem doing whatever he can to make sure MaxPax's day gets a little bit harder. But MaxPax whips a Nexus out of his magical probe backpack and slaps it down. Not today. Now, obviously, the normal follow-up here is going to be... he expected the expansion. So, and we've seen MaxPax defend this sort of aggression before. In fact, the mineral line is not as conducive to the bunker block. He didn't put it in the right spot. The little tucked in area. And that means the probe may be able to kill the SCV, Clem. Gonna dance the... It is RNG here. And RNG does seem to be on Clem's side. Just gonna slap that down. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, one more hit. Get him! What a hero.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
National hero. God, the amount of stress and the amount of difficulty that bunker could have created. But instead, shut down. Clem, just a pixel up. I think the key part here is MaxPax's willingness to just go take the other base. Just take it, not trying to dance around it, just slaps it down. He knows what he needs to do. You cannot be indecisive against Clem. You must make a decision and stick with it. And MaxPax is one of the only players who's really capable of doing that at the speed Clem forces the issue. So, shield battery's on the way. Oh no, the Stalker gets caught. And the Reapers will hunt it down. Surprisingly effective, especially since they heal. A chrono boost on probes. Not quite done with the shield battery, and the probes are gonna feel it. Loses 3. Gets 1 of the Reapers, so that's something. Still a difficult situation for MaxPax as he's kind of split between his bases. Kind of like why Protoss... Okay, so what's happening here? The Sentry no longer a light unit, so the Hellion not getting bonus damage there, but the Reaper's still more than enough to take it down if it sticks around too long. Hallucinated Phoenix heads across the map. Grenade. Martyrdom. Reaper gets knocked away. The Hallucinated Phoenix, though, going to pay off in telling MaxPax exactly when anything else could be coming up. Getting a track on the second barracks timing, as well as the fact there's a tech-labbed starport. Now, he doesn't know it's upgrading for sure. Interference matrix, he can take his guesses, and Clem is going to keep him guessing by switching over the starport. But he does have the Raven done. And he's putting together that stim push. He's not bothering with the interference matrix. I wonder if MaxPax changes his build at all because he thinks there might be interference. I don't think so. I think he's sticking with... Oh. It may have done so. He may have encouraged MaxPax here to go, instead of Blink Colossus, just straight into charge slots. Which... knocked him out of the air. Always satisfying. So charge, definitely a unique choice from the Twilight Toss here, but there's a robo on the way. A charge lot timing with a Warp Prism also could be dangerous. The third base is done for MaxPax. So again, it's going to be Clem bringing out a 2-base stim combat shield +1 triple threat timing. Oh, he's already got Blink done. What am I? Okay. Jimmy, edit out that first part. I didn't even realize he already had Blink done. Well, that makes sense to have charge afterwards. I'm like, that's a lot of Stalkers for someone without Blink. Look at the timer. Time just seems to pass more quickly nowadays, okay? My life's being chrono boosted ever since 2020. Auto turrets just targets the battery. That's one way to solve the problem. Gets right through it. Gonna get a few probes behind. Sets himself up for more. Charge about completed. The gateways are coming up. MaxPax's been doing a great job of keeping his production in line with Clem. A lot of the times you can get carried away. I think a big issue a lot of Protoss have with facing Terran, but also specifically Clem, is just not having enough production in time. And I say MaxPax's doing a great job, but this is still a very dangerous push coming out. MaxPax trying to blunt it with a bit of Blink Stalker micro, but cannot afford to really lose any of this. All right. Great timing on the Prism. The Widow Mine's in the main. May help deal with it. +1 ground weapons about to complete for MaxPax, but not yet. Force fields. Catch Clem between a rock and a hard place. Well, not really, though. All his units are ranged, and the siege tanks over the top of the charge lots from the back try to take down the tanks. Infantry weapons level 1 isn't quite done for Clem, and that's actually a huge difference in this fight. Many of his units dead before it could kick in. MaxPax had a 5-second, 10-second window with +1 done, and he used every second of it to engage those tanks. The charge lots will be warped in, and now Clem will be forced back. He still has plenty of production at home. He still has plenty of economy. He even got a 3rd command center in a timely manner for the first time in this series so far, so he is by no means in a critical spot. In fact, he still maintains a significant supply lead, but MaxPax keeps on the aggression. And before Clem can even warp, he's just going to warp in right on top. The siege tanks on here, the SCVs are exposed. The base itself just now put down an orbital, and there's enough bio with that observer to spot everything in front that MaxPax will be forced back. But looking for the opportunities, Widow Mines zoning out of the base. And he dodges the Widow Mine shot with the Warp Prism. Obviously, you still have to deal with the mine later on, but some cute moves, and the Warp Prism just circumvents the mines, gets into the mineral line. And now with the charge lots, pulling some more units back. A Warp Prism, will he recall? It's close. He'll get out. Clem literally trying to move close enough so the projectiles land in time, but MaxPax gets out, and now we're going to be dragged, I think, for the first time, kicking and screaming. Well, metaphorically screaming for the Protoss. They don't have mouths. 27 minutes today. To a macro game. Actually, I think MaxPax is perfectly happy with this. It's Clem. Oh no, the Prism! A bit lackadaisical there, gets knocked down. That Prism, without that Prism to threaten on the back line. Now Clem can focus the majority of his efforts on the push. A couple Zealots get in. 2 Colossi. Is Extended Thermal Lance done? No, not even started. Force Field. MaxPax down 40 supply here. The charge lot's still finding a bit of success in the 3rd. Clem picks up and heads for the main. The Medivacs, the gateway wall here, a single pylon powering many of them. I'm not sure if this is helping or not. Again, but MaxPax seems to favor it. Meanwhile, enough units, he can juggle right back. The Colossi using the Reaper Cliff in order to step between him, and in fact, I think that's keeping him going here. If he didn't have that to work with, the Colossi would have to walk all the way around, and that's just a long trip. 3 Colossi. MaxPax down 40 supply right now. But the army supplies, well, still rough. A lot of it is back at home for Clem, well, now coming across the map. The Raven is still alive. The Stalkers will chase. The 1 Robo's at the 3rd, but Clem is laying on the pressure. Vikings on either side. He's got 2 armies very capable of beating these smaller amounts of Protoss MaxPax is forced to defend with. But he has to be a little careful of not getting any of those 2 flanks chopped up and killed themselves. Ground weapons, too, for MaxPax. Couple auto turrets attempted. And he survived, as Clem pulled back and now adds the ghosts into the composition. Always good. Even if they don't have Templar or Archons, always good to wipe out effectively half the HP of most of the army. And they're not too bad at fighting Zealots on their own either. Ghost Viking. Now a Dark Shrine for MaxPax. We got a Forge, +3 weapons, Extended Thermal Lance. We're just filling in all the gaps here. Clem's nearly maxed out, but he's just started 2-2. But once you max out with this sort of composition, there's really no reason to wait much longer. Disruptors and Dark Templar on the way. The double Ds of destruction. Clem still with a massive army supply lead. 40. A zoning turret with a Viking. I love it. And the turret gets the kill. It worked. Clem adapting to MaxPax's most predictable yet effective play. That late game warp prism, just warping a cinematic of charge launch into the main. The Colossus count 4. Disruptors growing. Only 1 for now, but chrono boosting out 2 at a time. MaxPax nearly maxed out. Clem is already there. And he's got the army. The only thing he's lacking are the upgrades, but that's not that important compared to it. Actually blinks out of the EMP, which is very technically a projectile. And apparently only MaxPax able to dodge it. Charge launch. No stalkers around the corner. EMP does land. Disruptor shot. Finds nothing. He's got more shots in there, though. Shield battery overcharged. Another disruptor. The Colossi are melting the Marines. The Vikings, though, zoning out the Colossi. He's going to take out the Nexus. Charge slots into the natural. Almost undefended. There's next to no units here. He's going to lose 13 SCVs, the rest on the run. Meanwhile, though, Clem does kill one of the bases. Down to 4 bases. There's a siege tank anchoring this position. The natural is still overrun by charge lots as Clem comes back with medevacs of units to defend. Drops them out on the ramp so the charge lots can't really get us around. Bit of an impasse on MaxPax's side of things. DT blink on the way. +3 ground weapons complete. MaxPax another warping. We don't mind. Gonna get a big hit across the charge lots. Disruptor shots around the corner. Almost take out the tank, but a little off the mark. The Vikings, a Scandinavia of Vikings here. And our Danish player MaxPax will be forced to retreat from them, somewhat ironically. With disruptors, still. Whoa, has to dodge out of his own Ruptor shot. Never a good sign. More Ruptors at point blank range. Clem still zoning. Ground armor level 1 is complete. Mostly important for those charge lots, but Clem is just keeping MaxPax on 4 bases. He's on 4 bases himself. He's got 2 done. So the upgrades are relatively even, but the +3 weapons is favored for the Protoss here. Double Robo's been pumping Ruptors out, which is quite a sentence. Disruptors! And Vikings on the ground, dodging the Disruptors by simply walking away. DTs. Trying to keep things busy. The natural was cleared out. Now going to be a continued thorn. Well, Scythe in Clem's side. Does he have any scans? He has 1. DTs blink away, but the scan catches both. Another base. Clem manages to get his 5th up. Keeping the pressure on. Another army. Dodges 2. Meanwhile, this bio-army, but there's so many stalkers. Not able to blink in time, but a legion of stalkers is warped into the main. 1, 2. Oh, Clem doesn't turn around in time, and he loses 30 supply in medevacs. It's a disaster. MaxPax is able to catch Clem just a little bit too far out. And he cuts down those medevacs, and with it, any semblance of a lead for the Frenchman. So now Disruptor shots. Now Clem has to scramble for momentum. He had the momentum. He was continually keeping the pressure on MaxPax, forcing him to respond. But now MaxPax is able to move out onto the map because while Clem replaces that supply, everything's back at home. He doesn't have enough army here. The Disruptors across the bow. Clem on the run. Clips several of the Marines. More Marauders are chasing, but he has to continually run away from the most dangerous force fields. He gets another chunk. The bio army to the north side. MaxPax is zoning out for his Ruptors, and the Ruptors are keeping him going. More EMPs across the Stalkers. DTs knocked away by the Planetary Fortress. He's gonna need a lot more than that. Here comes MaxPax again. The Disruptors splitting the blue sea here. As Clem continually forced to dodge away. Not a single Liberator in sight, either in production or on the field. And without the Liberators, it gets harder and harder to deal with this critical mass of Disruptors. At any moment, one of these shots could potentially end the game. The Vikings for now taking the brunt of it. DT blink on top of the Planetary. Takes it down. Sliced to pieces. Gonna chase down. Targets the Ruptor that fired. Another one from the backline is taken down. And Clem, in the face of destruction, will target down every single one of the key Ruptors. Eats a glancing blow. +3 about to complete, though. The Disruptor count is down to 3. The DTs are coming in for more. Looking for another blink. MaxPax holds on to most of his economy. Clem is down to 52 SCVs in just 4 bases, and he's mining out of his main and his natural, which means his army supply is massive. MaxPax is forced back again, as on the open field, Clem was able to close the distance against the Ruptors and make all the difference. The DTs eviscerating units on the ramp. The scan, but there's so many DTs. Scan, run away. Blinks past the depot as it raises. A cheeky move there indeed. Slicing through another Marauder. Now Clem scrambling to deal with the Dark Templar throughout the base. Another scan, but there are DTs in the main. The DTs in the natural might be cleaned up. The Bio Ball is rolling through, and the Nexus absolutely crumbles. Meanwhile, though, the main base is infested with Dark Templar. The Disruptors making their way down. Charge lock count quite high in front. Not great against this critical mass of ghosts, but enough to box out for the Ruptors. Ruptors dangerous to both sides. Very good against Protoss as well. They even have a bonus damage to the shields. All right, the ghosts still chasing. Not bothering to line up any shots. 19 SCVs down, 56 to 38 workers. Both of them still so much supply. That means, well, the army supplies are massive. But MaxPax closing in. The charge lots themselves. He's bleeding out a few more units. Disruptor around the corner. There's still one DT, scans and deals with it. Clem, always very careful about pulling back with his army when he's dealing with DTs at home. MaxPax is trying to trap him. Gets one medevac. The Bio Ball is still too strong for the gateway units to get to really work with themselves. He's added some more Colossi. He took out all the Vikings, and now he's adding Colossi in again for more guaranteed damage. Oh my god, what a save! But not for long. The Stalkers blink in. In the Bio Ball, some of the units stuck in medevacs. The Ghosts going down. Another Bio Ball stimming in toward the 4th base to the north. In fact, the 3rd base. Remember how this started with an NG Bay block? Well, here we are. This base is nearly mined out. Charge lots on the opposite side, denying Clem another base, but both Robos are taken down. He's forced to pull back. A single Colossus is complementing this armory. It looked nice today. No, I don't. Meanwhile, the charge lots trying to chase down the Bio Ball, but the concussive shells keeping them at bay. MaxPax bleeding out supply. The Disruptors nowhere to be. Where are the Ruptors? They're holding at the 4th. Clem is forced back. He still has a 30 supply lead. MaxPax is hanging on with a Disruptor. Well, 7 Disruptors in a dream. The Bio Ball, the Disruptors head towards the main. He's gonna lose all these probes. Oh no! Another base under fire. And now MaxPax. It comes down to the Ruptors. He clips another part of the army, but Clem playing keep away here. The 2 Colossi helpful. The medevacs are entirely out of energy. But Clem's supply is too damn high, and now MaxPax is forced down. 2-1 Clem. Exhausting game. But Clem just keeping the pressure on, and even without Liberators, it's such a dangerous thing. But at the end of the day, it's an effective one. Clem. Another exhausting, action-packed game. Clem trying to end it early. MaxPax holding on, but couldn't quite. It looked like the DTs. I gotta say, Clem, the little details that he doesn't always keep up with. The missile turret Viking combo. I don't think I've ever seen at least not recently, see a missile turret kill MaxPax's Warp Prism. A flanking missile turret, but here we are. And that brings us to Game 4. And Alkione. Probe being immensely annoying. No shenanigans early. Got no NG Bay block. No proxy gate. No, well, there's still an option for a proxy star, but that's still on the table. But oh, yes. Probe MaxPax off. Full HP, no shields. Maximizing its effectiveness. Clem hiding the Marine so he doesn't give away the fact he has one. Which means he's going for a quicker factory. If you're not going to kill the probe, there's no reason to show it early. Because that way, MaxPax knows he can just send units straight across instead of maybe worrying about a Reaper. He's going to have that bunker tucked in back at home. Twilight Council on the way. A single Hellion. Looks like a scouting Hellion. Just take a look around. The Adept will see the bunker, see the reactor barracks. It will not have vision of anything else in the main. Intentionally kept away. Hellion will be spotted by the Adept. Blink begins for MaxPax. The most calm start we've had so far, which just means they haven't tried to murder each other for almost 3.5 minutes. That will end soon, but compared to the other games. They're both on point today. Clem is really leaning into his strength, which is just that ridiculously smooth biocontrol. And MaxPax with his multi-pronged defense and just counterattacks. Unfortunately, Clem just got too much momentum, and MaxPax, even though he was able to get some wins, when Clem is able to, the disruptors are good, but Clem is sometimes better. Chases down one of the Hellions. A single Widow Mine drop. Just one, not two, not none. One Widow Mine. That is the correct number. Still an existential threat to the Mineroma. Doesn't even drop it. Keeps him guessing. Doesn't want to... It's Schrodinger's Widow Mine right now. That medevac could be empty, or it could have 4 mines in it. Or anywhere in between. You don't know. And until he starts dropping out of it, MaxPax has to treat it like there's 4 mines in there. Or maybe even like a cyclone or 2. So, for now, anchoring a couple stalkers back at home. Bit of a bulwark here. Intentionally blocking off with buildings. Wow, taking the Blink Stalkers very seriously. He's got a real tucked-in bunker there in order to minimize the potential strength of the Stalkers. In fact, building a second bunker. Who is this? What have you done with Clem? Clem playing this defensive? He's got the Raven on the other side. Actually just straight up kills a Stalker. Doesn't get any probes, but the Stalker, you know, not bad. Widowmine comes in. Retargets onto the probe. I was hoping for more, but MaxPax pulls away. Templar Archives is the choice. And Storm. Alright, Stalkers. Engaging on the map. Down goes the Adept. Here comes the 3-tank push. The triple tank timing with the triple threat intel. Actually, this is well before Stim and Combat here. He's looking to get damage done before MaxPax can get any sort of additional tech. Well, he saw the Templar Archive. He killed a Templar with the Raven. What? Oh, no. Well, that's worth it. Clem's turrets are getting an inordinate amount done today. Killing a War Prism, killing a Templar. Yes, the auto turret is like a redheaded stepchild of the missile turret, but still, we can all have dreams. Psy Storm. Only halfway done here, but Clem just kind of zoning while he builds his third command center. Charge, not done. Bunkers are salvaged. And the War Prism is still waiting for its opportunity. Actually pulls back. I think he's going to load up Templar into a Storm Prism. Alright. Fine. Yeah, Storm on the way. I checked the forecast. It said, a storm with a small chance of like and subscribe. Forge. There is a Robo, but no Robo Bay. The Observer dodges. I don't know if he moved it after the scan or he was already moving it, expecting one, but... Meanwhile, +1 begins for MaxPax, a 4th base. Neither of them willing to commit. As it looks like we're going to make it up to 200 supply again. You scan this time. The Observer is taken down. Another Forge on the way. Rowboat Bay in production. How is this still alive? 5 kills. Some real valuable ones as well. Just targeting the Stalker here. Blinks in to block out. Shield battery will be enough. And now Clem. He's got about as much as you can hope for together. No real timing coming up, just has enough medevac. Oh, whoa. Here comes MaxPax. Looking to match him. Battling on the field. And the Templar forced out of the prism. Zones out with the first one. There's already ghosts on the way. But Clem doing a good job of keeping MaxPax from getting close enough. That prism, the obvious threat. A scan will keep tabs on it. And now the choke point. Ooh, gotta be very careful with those Marines. The Storm, not quite what he was looking for. The Archon's absorbing a lot of tank fire, but there's really not that many other units. He's outflanking through the watchtower. Oh my god, that spread. I can't believe it's not budding. Meanwhile, the Archons and the Immortals, he was trying to blink over, but a disastrous fight for MaxPax. Not really a fight. That was just a murder. He just killed most of the army, and MaxPax got nothing in return. Clem, even without ghosts, able to box out the prism. MaxPax overestimating the threat it posed. And Clem out on the open field, more than capable of pre-splitting against that sort of army. And now, well, MaxPax still has enough economy to fall back on. So that means he can refill. But he's lost map control. And between these two, map control is more important than probably any other matchup out there. A Storm to zone out, the Bio Army, a couple cut down, softened up by the Storms. Extended Thermal Lance, and here comes the Prism. There's nothing in the bay to deal with it. A massive warpent of charge lots. Every gate. He's got 10 gates, and they all just got used to throw the charge lots into the main. But the Vikings are still in a great position. Knocks down one Colossus. Siege tanks are shelling from over the top. Zealots in the main, boxed out by the SCVs. Going to lose a lot of them. But MaxPax barely holding on to his 4th base for now. The main base of Clem is slowly but short. The Prism's still alive, but the charge lot's coming in from the right side. Swing into the tanks, drawing their fire. Widow mines are negated. Vikings still working on the Colossi. Only a couple Stalkers left to deal with it. The supply drops, but about evenly for both sides. Again, a near even trade. And the Warp Prism's still alive. I think both players just realized that as they were taking stock of the situation. Widow mines are cleared up. MaxPax now takes a slight supply lead. Another mine. Well, it's unfortunate. There goes that supply lead. Clem getting 2-2 in quite a timely manner compared to the last game. MaxPax reliant on the Templar, which are a very different method of dealing with this army. They can help with the Colossi, though. The Storm on the Viking, something Disruptors cannot do. Drop is loaded up. 4 medevacs spotted by a very important charge lot. Templar in position. Doesn't get the Storm in time. There's even ghosts inside the drop. MaxPax scrambles to defend. He's got 5 Colossi. Clem has the army out on the map. He's always looking. He's always a threat. God, he's so dangerous. Somehow able to keep these armies threatening on both sides. And MaxPax can't seem to find a way through. The Vikings are the key. He doesn't have many of them, but he always seems to have just enough to keep the Colossi or the Warp Prism at bay. They're not too bad on the ground either. But he's only made Liberators for probe harass, as opposed to trying to zone out the ground army, which has allowed Clem to be even more mobile. Liberators are pretty fast, but they have to siege up, and that kind of anchors you to a position. And Clem is playing this really very fluid style. The drops are coming back in. Ship weapons level 1 about to complete. Widowmine gonna deal with the Zealot. The Bio deals with the Nexus itself. Both sides maxed out. Storm lands. The drops still dangerous. The Bio army has to be careful. There's a Colossus. There's 5 Colossi on the field. 4 on the left flank, 1 on the right. Colossi standing tall, whereas everything else underneath. Widowmine dealt with. MaxPax trying to get a 5th base up. Clem, working on his own, is going to take the rich Vespine base to the north. Oh, Widowmine. Not quite finding a lock. Blinks out of 1. Only finds another. There's a Stalker at the Watchtower. Gonna spot most of this. The Bio army blindsided by the Colossi, though. A blank, bit of a late force field, but the Colossi burn away another chunk of Bio. MaxPax maxes out again and packs his bags, heads towards the center of the map. Feeling a little more confident now that he has both flavors of splash damage. Can switch to Disruptors if he deems it the choice. A Fusion Core on the way, but well, thinking about the Advanced Ballistics Liberators. Widowmine bites another Stalker. Another drop comes in. Deja vu. We've just dropped in this base before. Stimming the Marines. Oh, actually he doesn't need to stim, he just kills it. MaxPax is kind of wandering into a fight, though. EMP knocks out a Colossus. The Templar EMPs are good. Storms in return, but the Vikings have a good angle. The Stalker's not really dealing with this. The Vikings take down another Colossus, the other 2. A strong gust of wind or stubbing their many toes might be enough to take them down. There's no splash damage out here. This is Bio with medevacs and ghosts up against just Zealots and Stalkers. It's not going to be enough to deal with it on the first wave. Another wave must be warped in. It's just Immortals back here. Does he have enough for a Storm? 10 energy off. Well, 75 energy off now. The Immortals trying to bash through. The SCV is tanky underneath. A Warp Prism comes in. If he can take down that Prism, he's not going to be able to. The Immortals are surrounded. The Bio army gets into the main. 21 SCVs down. Charge lots at the front. Clem's supply plummeting, but it's mostly SCVs. He still has the army. Immortals distracted. That's a core part of his army that MaxPax. The charge lot's getting blocked in. More units trickling in, but MaxPax plummets 50 supply. And outright loses the game again. It goes from like 100 to 0 to 100 to the end. It looks so good, but a lot of the supply drop here was very simply the SCVs going down. The army supply still so good. The Bio army in the main. The charge lots are warped in, but quite a demoralizing fight. I think MaxPax needed to pull back a lot quicker, especially after he killed the SCVs, but taps it out. Clem takes a 3-1 victory. I gotta say, Clem looking very on point today. He looks on point most days, but more than usual. All those little details. The only mistake I could point out is the triple drop getting sniped on site Delta, but he ended up winning that game anyways, which means it was the right call, right? That's how it works. But I think there's one other right call, which is liking and subscribing. And thank you for watching. If you got the means of motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But otherwise, check out the second channel as well. Absolutely free. Yes, not subscribers. Well, you should subscribe there. Winter Gaming on YouTube. I know, very original. You can check out streams, the StarCraft 1 versus StarCraft 2, any of that. Well, congratulations to Clem. Another decisive victory in a hard-fought series. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you for watching. Stay chill.
Hell, it's about time.